say thank you to God for slapping me with a bitch, use your common sense stick. I was just about to get up and go to the grocery store and grab a cold chicken and some vinegar so that I could chop it up and bathe it in vinegar and make a chicken salad so that we have plenty of food to eat just in case the stores aren't open on Christmas. I just heard beep like somebody was starting a recording. Ain't no telling what the hackers doing. They are absolutely insane in the membrane. I want to feel sorry for them, but they're pitiful for a reason. Now, God said, bitch, tell them children to go lay back down. And that's what I did. I told the girls go lay back down. And I just thank God for pulling me out of the traditional thinking. Then I start cursing people, the judges, the attorneys, these, whoever the fake husband is, whoever been getting a disability check in my name, whoever got my U.S. Department of Labor check, whoever got my inheritances. I am hoping and praying that the spirit of, well, I don't know. I guess that they reap what they sow times 100. And the sorry ass baby daddies, fake friends. I prayed a prayer of curse over you and your existence. I don't usually use my words and my thoughts in this way, but when things occur and I realize, damn, this Christmas I ain't bought not one gift for nobody. And I start getting in my 3D physical feelings, I say, you know what? I curse the motherfuckers. And that's what I did. And God said, you know what? Look how far you've come. This is the second new year you have created for you and your girls where y'all got fucking peace. You ain't got nobody to argue with, nobody to steal from you, nobody within your household that is trying to kill you or poison you. Tell God thank you. As the Deacon Anthony Catharus Atkins would say, tell God thank you. So God, we want to say thank you for the gift of peace. That is a perfect Christmas gift. Peace, true peace, not quiet, but peace. And we have been having peace. And I hope my girls understand it's not really just about the gifts, because what did Christ bring to the world? He brought peace, he brought reconciliation, and he unshackled man from having to be responsible for the weight of his sins. When Christ died on the cross, what that represented, what that meant is that you no longer have to bring me offerings. You no longer have to cut 5 goats because you were really out of order this year. 5 goats, 3 chickens, and 2 ducks to atone for your sin. When my blood leaks from my body, it is so powerful and so potent. It is an everlasting sacrifice. Everlasting. I missed the bus again. Dang. An everlasting sacrifice. And so 9:21. So that means I can catch the next bus. Okay. So basically what Christ did for me by allowing them to illegally evict me with an illegal detainer, Evelyn Rosado, a meth head, not a notary public, and Eric Allen, a fake fraud worker, so-called owner of A Plus Properties, 4 Hillsborough County Sheriff officers in my front yard, and 4 Tampa police officers, including Marcus Leggett, in my front yard to put me and my 4 children out. And that's after having gone to court and Natalie Ouellette, 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 Lettette. I don't know. I think that's French. Who I'm later finding out wasn't even an attorney. She's an accountant. She said, no, we will reinstate the loan. That's what she told me when we were in court in Judge Cheryl Thomas's courtroom, because I only went to court one time for that fiasco. My fat sister Ava, she had set some shit up, her and her very smart, evil genius brother. And instead of them reinstating the loan, because I guess Anthony didn't want us to know that, yes, we got $30,000, but I went behind y'all back and got another 60,000, then another 30,000. So the loan is now 160, some shit like that. He didn't want the loan to be reinstated. So I don't know what they did. They probably, why am I thinking refinance? What is that? I went to GoFundMe and started a GoFundMe called Dorothy's Will, and somebody took it over. I don't know how much it made. I don't know what they spent the money on. So that must mean by that time they had a power of attorney. My attorney turned coat on me. Laura, what's your name? Laura Gallo, Gallo on Gun Highway. You need to get some gift cards and come bring my children some Christmas gifts, and they want iPads, so don't go buy some old garbage ass junk we ain't gonna use. Either put some money on one of those vanilla prepaid cards that you can get from Walgreens, Walmart, so that they can buy what they want. It doesn't make sense to buy people shit they don't want and it just sits in a corner and collects dust. The mama want a 3,000 watts Blue Teeny. That's the cheapest brand on the market that I know. Blue Teeny solar generator, so that I can cook. If I can cook my own food, I'm a happy person. Now this was supposed to be 3 minutes. Now it's turning into more. I'm at 7 minutes 23 seconds. And I need to talk to you, Laura. I know you ain't gonna tell me no truth. You probably an earth sign too. I was sitting in your office in your face with my $250 to pay you my first payment, and you told me you were not going to do the bankruptcy for me and I had to go through my brother. I said to you, my brother owns the same 25% that I own, so why I got to go through him? And you just sat there, kept telling me about, oh, well, you need to go and get your student loans deferred or in forbearance. I can't remember your terminology. And I'm like, why? Why? Because I was shocked as shit, because I'm here solving a family problem, which is my brother has not paid the mortgage because he was trying to defraud us out of all the property. He felt like everything my mom left was his because he's a selfish little bratty boy. He's still 5 years old in his soul. If my mom left 6 pieces of property, I'm assuming Route 1 in Concord, Georgia, Willie George Starks, my granddaddy Doug's property, 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida, the home we grew up in. We all grew up in one house together, 6010 North 32nd Street. And 1316 Kill Place, my mom's house out in Valrico, Florida, where she and Larry Thompson, Ron Derrick, Moon and Aset lived before she came down with leukemia, which they medically murdered her. She went to the doctor, got a transfusion, and I believe that's how they were able to kill her. She believed anything. And don't think that they don't have doctors that they pay to make people sick, because they do. And Anthony's Place, 700 East Harem Avenue, Opelika, Florida. That was a property my mom bought, and then he switched it over into his name. 2212 East Mallory Avenue, where I paid the back taxes. It was 3 years behind in back taxes. My friend at the time, my fake friend, Letitia Karima Penn, loaned me $3,300 and went with me to pay that money so that that property could be saved. And I moved in there with little 3-year-old Angola, and Abby was in my belly. That's where I gave birth to Abby. And we called it the pee house because we used to be afraid to go to the back of the house. So we all peed in the little at Angola's little porta potty, and sometimes they would kick it, and the pee would get in the carpet and soak through the wood. I just missed another bus. Damn it! And it smelled like pee when we walked in. And I'm gonna say my brother sabotaged that, or he sent somebody over there to sabotage. Was it my brother? Yeah. So what did he do? He went under the house and manipulated the toilet thing. What do you call that? Pipes, so that the water would drip down on the ground. So I was paying $50 a month for water to live there. And all of a sudden, I got a $600 water bill. And then he sent Cousin Toy. Now, I believe he sent Cousin Toy. All these years, I thought Cousin Toy just came to check on me and saw the condition and invited me to come live at her house to help her because she changed her schedule and started working overnight. And she wanted me to be there with her two boys while she worked third shift, the graveyard shift. That was when she lived at Bristol Bay Apartments on 50th Street. Now I believe that she was working with my brother then. So she came over to, hey cousin, how you doing? I'm just coming to check on you and the baby. Y'all don't need to be living over here like this. Why don't you come stay with me? She invited me to her house. Now they tell the story that I just go around laying up on family members whenever they need help taking care of children and saving that $150 a week child care. Now hers wouldn't have been 150 because her boys were, bigger, but you're trying to save your children. You know what children act like when you're not at home at night. But for Ava, when she told me I could come stay with her for room and board in exchange for me taking care of her babies, they were saving money. And now they spin the story to try to make it seem like I'm a freeloader that can't get her life together. And I resent that. I cast judgment on you people for not telling the truth about your family member, Aileen Dorothea Atkins, who is highly moral, and y'all trying to make it out like I'm some crazy crackhead, alcoholic addict, knowing I ain't never tried no drugs, I ain't never drank no alcohol, I ain't never prostituted, and I ain't never been crazy. So hard times are coming to all of you because you got to reap that you sowed. Now, Cousin Toy came over there and I decided to go live there with her. It was all a setup. And they might have even been working with Martha. I left a note with Martha, uh, Donald or O'Donnell, Abraham Vada Jones's mother, asking her to give it to him so that he could come and stay with us because Jean's bar was open and a lot of crazy crackheads were walking up and down there. And the little wooden house was not very secure. You could get in that front door with a screwdriver, a credit card. It wasn't hard. Shit, if you were strong enough, you probably could have just shook that door open. And Martha went into the house. She broke into my house and went through my things. And she saw my tarot book and card deck that I had just recently purchased because I was trying to figure out where truth was. And she probably went back and told her son, she's a witch, she's this, she's that, she putting spells on you and all of that, the kind of shit I'm alleging she does. And so he wasn't coming to stay with us. Then I tried to get a retarded man by the name of Curtis to come live with me, or at least stay at my house a couple of nights so that I could get some sleep. But he wanted to have sex with me, and I wasn't going to have sex with Curtis. And I didn't have sex with Curtis. So I ended up going to Cousin Toy's house, and then basically Anthony, didn't have to give me my year there. He was just lying to me anyway. If he wasn't lying, he wouldn't have sabotaged the plumbing. The records of the city of Tampa will prove that I was paying $50 a week, a month, And then all of a sudden, this $600 water bill came. He might have even come over there and, loaded up one of those to go and pressure wash somebody's house. And then as a result, he unscrewed the valve so that it looked like it was coming from the water leak when really he came over there and filled up 100 gallons and went and pressure washed somebody's house but didn't want to pay for the water, you see. That's the same thing he did when I moved back to 6010 North 32nd Street and James Johnson. So the first incident was in 2010 at 2212 East Mallory. That's the first incident with the $600 water bill. When I moved back to 6010 North 32nd Street, let's see, I was working at Mycon Hood Containers out in Oldsmar, Florida. That would have been what, 2018? 2019, 2018. Because of that bill, I didn't have the $600 to pay that bill off. JJ was nice enough to put my water bill in his name at 6010 North 32nd Street. He lived at River Pines, but he started a second water bill account at 6010 North 32nd Street in his name for me. So that bill was going along fine, $70 every month. And then all of a sudden, a $700 water bill came. Now, I remember when Anthony connected that pressure washer thing and pressure washed our house. Now, I didn't know anything about how much water costs and how much water these pressure washers use to clean the house. And it's taken all these years for me to piece these little pieces together and get an understanding of what has happened. So I was trying to separate myself from JJ because I told him I'm looking for a husband. You're not interested in being my husband. Even though I come hang out and Netflix and chill with you, I am still husband shopping. And I found a guy that I thought, I like him. I love his temperament. He receives my children. He receives the pets. He's childlike. We laugh and play together. We get in the kitchen and cook together. And, we get in the car. We run errands together. This is perfect. He was a lot older than me, but it seemed like a perfect situation. And everybody came against it to kill it. So it died. But the whole point of me telling you that story was to tell you about that $700 bill that came in James Johnson's name. And as I was migrating towards Lawrence, Alexander, Cambridge, because we decided we were going to make a life together, Lawrence told me to go ahead and pay that bill off with his credit card, start a new account in my name so that that would make it so I didn't have to deal with JJ anymore. And I did that. I went to his house and we basically said our goodbyes. We had sex and I was like, yeah, I paid off your water bill. And yes, I found my husband. He should have been happy for me because he wasn't interested in being married, but he didn't seem happy for me. And I was just hoping and praying that behind the scenes he wasn't going to do anything malicious. He's a Scorpio like my sister, and they do not. You walk away from a Scorpio, they are always trying to get revenge on you, it seems. So he probably did something behind the scenes. I don't know what exactly. Shortly after Lawrence ended up with COVID and then dying on July 13th of 2020, if that's true. So it was a short-lived love affair between Lawrence and I. I should not have been sharing my good news with people. People didn't seem happy. Letitia didn't seem happy. She probably was dabbling in there somewhere doing something against my relationship with Lawrence. with Lawrence's best friend, Veronica Davis. We were all a part of the flea market circuit. Veronica Davis, she's also a foster parent. So she must not be dead. I said, she also is. Huh. Okay. Letitia Karima Penn, she was a part of the flea market circuit, and I was a part of the flea market circuit. So I used to talk to Letitia too much about my intimate business. And I'm pretty sure she is 60% responsible for it all going to pot. But I shouldn't have been talking to her. Grown ass woman, why you telling this bitch your business? So we'll just blame me. That way, this dumb bitch can change the way she is. And if given another opportunity to be in another wonderful relationship with a man that loves me, looks forward to supporting me and likes my children and is okay with me having pets, I can protect that relationship. So I've been sitting around here trying to curse you motherfuckers and hope and pray that everything that you did to me will return to you 100-fold. And that's so not what Jesus taught. He's like, turn the other cheek. And so you see, I need some work, right? Jesus, would you have me forgive them for everything they did to me? I gotta know. What does that mean? In the Bible, it says forgive. Wait a minute. Maybe you don't forgive the devil. People who are doing evil shit and they know it's evil and they mean you harm. God says don't forgive those people. Like the Sadducees and the Pharisees. I never heard him pray for those people who are evil hearted, who do evil, because they delight in doing evil. You forgive people who do things and they don't really know what they're doing. So, yeah, you get no forgiveness from me. Y'all don't have to come ask me to forgive you. I ain't in no forgiving mood for all you evil motherfuckers who just want to lighten your karmic load. You don't have any genuine remorse in your heart for what you did. And that's why I stopped my birthday tour of going to confront people directly and ask them, hey, did my family ask you to come and go to court and talk smack against me, to lie against my character? I made it to 3 people's houses, and God said, you see the pattern, right? Don't nobody know nothing. Ain't nobody gonna tell you nothing. These grown ass people, they do wrong. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. So stop wasting your time and possibly putting your motherfucking life in danger, Dodo. I went to John Waldron's house. I asked him about the trust, and he sealed court cases. Does he know anything? He said no, and he reminded me that, he was in Woodbridge, and they diagnosed him with cognizant deficit. So, basically don't ask me shit because I ain't gonna remember shit. Okay. Then I went to Josie, and Josie didn't remember a damn. No, not didn't remember. Josie didn't know nothing. He ain't even remembered that I drove an orange car. The car that Lawrence gave me, the 2011 Dodge Caliber, was Mango Tango orange. And he said that it was burgundy. So he and Tansy Lisnett Hammond might have clicked up together and tried to set me up with a red car. Somebody hit somebody with a burgundy car and put that shit on my driver's license. Told the police that they were me. And when I went to check down at the police station, that's how I learned about that. A hit and run was on my record, and it wasn't me. So I don't know what these people do in the background. When my business partner, Donald Ross, got sick, was that 2019, 2017, 2018? When did Donald Ross get sick? I guess it had to be around 2018. The early part of 2018, because when Donald was alive, I was not working at the box factory. I wasn't working at Mycon. I was working at Walmart out in Wesley Chapel. So I think it was about whenever he got sick. Whenever I got evicted from Dr. Mubain's 1-bedroom apartment on 11th Avenue, across the street from Ann's house after I left Ann's house, taking care of her mother. What was her mom's name? Miss Linda. Miss Linda. She had dementia or Alzheimer's real bad. She kept flashing. I don't think she was flashing back. She kept saying they're trying to castrate me. She was talking about the Russians all the time. And then she started calling you a whore and smack you in the face. I'm like, what the hell is going on? See, sometimes when you see old people and you feel sorry for them, you don't know that they were once young people that did evil shit. And she probably was smacking Miss Ann around like that. And maybe that's why Miss Ann was in the condition that she was in because of her mother's abuse. And Miss Linda used to smack on me and talk shit to my children until I start recording her. When I start pulling out that video camera and recording Miss Ann, she acted just like she had good sense. And that helped me to believe, oh, some of these old people be faking probably to get a check. But when I put that recording up in Miss Ann's face, not Miss Ann, Miss Linda. Miss Linda was Ann's mom. She acted like she had good sense. That was when I was working for pace setters at Trinity Hospital as a, what do you call that? Fire watch person. And my keys got locked in the car. Donnie Dwayne Flowers wanted to come to Ann's house and help me get the keys out. And I said, no, just give me a ride to work. I'll figure it out later. He wouldn't give me a ride to work. How did I get to work? I asked Letitia to come and pick me up from Trinity Hospital. They both said no. The two of them were probably in cahoots together. And I said, I don't have any friends. And I started walking from Trinity Hospital. I needed to be back home to go to sleep so that the next day I could get back there and work my shift. And I ended up losing that job because I was working from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and Miss Ann was supposed to be watching the girls for me. And I think she got mad because I wasn't paying her more than my little $75 a week room rent to watch the girls. I wasn't cashing my checks because I was trying to get out of Miss Ann's house. I was trying to get across the street in the little one bedroom, Dr. Mubane's place, and I met with him. I showed him my pay stubs. I hadn't cashed my pay stubs every day when I got off work. I think they gave me a paycheck for like $125, and I just let them accrue so that I could put down on that apartment across the street, the one bedroom. Miss Ann had my children outside, according to Sky, who lived in the mother-in-law suite in the back of Miss Ann and Miss Linda's house. They had a separate building in the back for a mother-in-law. It had its own bathroom and a little kitchen nook, and it was a nice, solid one bedroom. Sky said that the lady next door called the police and said these children are outside playing in the yard. And I couldn't believe that Miss Ann would let my children be outside while I was at work. And so that opened a CPS case. And the apartment that we were getting ready to move to was a little bit in disrepair. So I was trying to figure out if I should go ahead and move in there and let CPS come and see the place and, do whatever they were going to do. And I called my firstborn child and I told them the situation, and they invited us to come stay with them. So we moved with John and Tia on 21st Street. Tia seemed mad as shit, so I don't think John talked to her about it. I think he assumed that she would be happy to help us, and I don't think she was happy to help us at all. But I think it benefited her somehow, because she probably ended up getting, what do you call them, checks from being a foster parent. And I'm assuming she did it behind John's back. I don't think he knew. If it's even true, I'm just telling you what I feel in my gut happened. Because she kept saying to me, "Oh, I'm a foster. I'm certified to be a foster parent and all of this." And I kept saying, "Why she keep telling me that? Why she keep telling me that over and over again?" So behind the scenes, there must have been talk of getting custody of my girls, the two Lotus birth babies that I gave birth to at home. They had already stolen the twins that I gave birth to May 26, 2004. They were already in custody. The two home birth, Lotus birth babies that are a part of Donna Young's research project, they were still with me. Now, they're still with me right now, but on paper, I think they are actually in somebody else's care and custody, and that's why I don't get child support. I don't get no disability checks. I don't get no food stamps. I don't get no help, even though they have been with me since the beginning, give or take little small periods of time when I had to separate from them to go get something done. Or I guess the largest bit of time was when, wait a minute. So the week when they were at John's place and I left for a week and I left them with their sibling, did they use that time to go and get a check for my children? Whew, I tell you, this love of money, this desire to get more money, it really motivates people in the wrong direction, and people do real flaw shit behind your back and won't even tell you. I'm saying even your children. So I've decided not to give 100% trust to nobody, not even my children. I don't trust nobody because your children will, take bribes too. And they're people, and especially when they start their own family and go out into the world and got their own bills. So I'm not going to be shocked by anything I find. And I'm thankful to God for helping me to deal with that before I actually see the paperwork, because I've been able to expose myself to it, cry, hurt, and heal. So when I see it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I ain't shocked by shit no more. My Angola makes me think she's sometimes coupling up with people behind my back. And I talk to my children very direct, so I say these things to them and I watch their body language to see what's going on. Many times I have wondered if while Angola and I were out in the world, if Abby let her dad come in or, open the door to talk to her dad, because I used to see a white truck over here and it looked like his truck. And I was like, so what is he waiting on? Maybe he waiting on us to leave and then he come over here and talk to Abby. And they try to gain an in with the kid, oh, I'll buy you a computer, I'll buy you an iPad. Now, the mother that's been taking care of them for over 10 years, struggling, making sure they were safe, fed, clothed, sheltered, without any major help from the father. And now they're going to come in with, maybe $1,000 and buy the child's loyalty from up under the parent that has been taking care of them and doing the work for 1, 2 decades. And that's how people will do you. So I got all the way over there because I was talking about Trinity and wondering why I ain't getting no help for my children and where the help is going, and really wondering if Tia is still getting. So she must have been getting money from the foster care system. I think they pay you like $1,000 a kid, and I had two girls, so between $2,000 to $3,000, and probably using their social security numbers to add them to get like food stamps or whatever. And I'm speculating, so I can't accuse you, Tia, because I don't know, but this is what I'm thinking in my heart happened. And me sitting here year after year getting no help. I broke down in 2023, May 2023, and applied for food stamps for just myself. So 291, I have to pinch and try to feed my two girls and myself off of my food stamp. They're not on my food stamps. Somebody else is using their social security numbers, I guarantee you. But when I go to the food stamp office, they play games with me. Everywhere I go, they play games with me. And that's because somebody somewhere has control over me or has paid these people to treat me this way. So the truth is going to come out eventually. And I was hoping and praying that people would tell me the truth. That's why I was backtracking to people from my past. But I've closed all those doors. And the past is the past. What's in the past is in the past. So if I don't ever get another dollar for child support, that's behind me. If none of these people who have stolen from me ever give me my money directly, karma is going to tap that ass. Karma is already tapping that ass, and I'm going to continue to pray that you reap what you sow. I don't expect you all to tell me the truth. Whose fault is it that I was around a bunch of low moral people that have little, if any, integrity? That's my fault, right? So we rectified that. My girls and I have been together suffering. Sometimes I want to ask people for help and I don't. I asked one person for some major help in this neighborhood, and that was, could you please run an extension cord and let me give you some money so that we could run a heater? And that person told me no, and don't make it a habit to come ask them for nothing else. So that's what I do. I don't make it a habit. I ain't been back over there. One more time after that, I asked that person for help. And that was because that storm was coming, and the church in Seminole, Florida, refused to give me the $150 deposit that I put down on a shed, but they said they would give me a $250 Publix gift card. And that's what they did. They gave me a $250 Publix gift card. And I needed my cash, but they refused to give it to me. And I couldn't make them, so I settled. And that person gave me a ride over there to pick up that gift card and took me to Publix to get some things for the girls and I. And that's been pretty much it. So 1, 2, 3 times in life. Well, 4 times, because 4 times in life I asked that person for help. I don't even know the person's name. So I tell my girls I don't really want to ask people for help anymore, because once they do you a favor, you owe them a favor. Even if they say, nah, it's all right. In my mind, we got to close this circle. So I'm going to do something for you to close that circle so that you don't have anything on me. And that's why we sit here and we suffer and we keep to ourselves so that we don't open any portals of owing people nothing. We're owed a lot. And to the people who are getting disability checks for me, my children, shame on you MFers. Shame on you. You know what it takes to live life. You know what holidays come up. You should automatically bring something. Even if you send it by a stranger, even if you set it on the doorstep. But y'all don't think like that because y'all want me to suffer. I've been suffering for so much of my life, fool. It ain't like it feel different, dummy. Y'all stupid as shit. But it's really your lack of compassion and your lack of integrity. That's the real big kicker. So, do I need to say anything else? I'm giving out curses for Christmas. That's what I gave out. Oh, so I want to say thank you to God for the gift of peace. My girls and I are very grateful for the gift of peace. I was able to tell them to go lay back down, and they could go back to their prospective beds, lay down, get under the cover, and sleep in peace. So thank you.